David Sampson is pissed at us because he was supposed to be on today, and we've flown in Darren Ravel to do that business off with him. But now we've got to cancel it because Stugotz is fired up about his weekend observations. He hasn't had a chance to do his weekend observations. And he is coming in roaring. You have to understand, all right? Stugotz has not been able to get off his takes here in a couple of days because it's gotten crowded around here, and he wasn't here in the beginning of the week.
Well, that's the reason.
But he just said, under his breath, in a way that Andrew Hawkins agreed with, that made me feel like that is Stugotz in his prime. That is the best Stugotz can do in the giving of takes. He just said, Saturday nights used to mean something.
Oh, it did, yeah. Different time, man. You had such great television on Saturday night. You had Fantasy Island, you had Loveboat, and then if your parents were nice enough, or if you could sneak away into doing it, you would stay up until 11:30 to see Saturday Night Live. You would actually see it live. That's when Saturdays meant something back in the 80s.
Stu, you are 138 years old.
Yes.
The Loveboat? Are you kidding me?
It's a good show.
When did the Loveboat air? I've only
no idea.
ever heard jokes referenced by my grandparents about the Loveboat.
Or on South Park or something. I feel like, though, you've captured the essence of why SNL feels different now, because it's not cool to stay up late and watch it. You're an adult.
Yes, you're just...
I agree with you. When I was a younger person and I stayed up late and watched in a box, it was the funniest thing I'd ever seen in my entire life.
Goat sketch.
Someone's in the box happened last month on SNL, and I just wasn't watching.
That is a great sketch. Lonely. I can sing Chronicles of Narnia word for word, bro.
Chronicles of Narnia.
The performance
Lazy
that the Lonely
Sunday,
Island had.
Wake up in the late afternoon, call Parnell just to see how he's doing. Yo, Sam, what up, Parn? Yo, Sandberg, what's cracking? You thinking what I'm thinking? Narnia? Shit is happening. The whole thing.
That's in the last 25 years.
That's in the last 25, bro.
Take it from there, Dan.
The concert did a whole Lonely Island montage.
It was so good.
It was really good.
With
They
Lady
had
Gaga.
They had Eddie Vedder play the Michael Bolton
Bad
role.
Bunny.
That's amazing,
so
man.
good.
Loveboat. So SNL shouldn't be Saturdays.
Right.
It shouldn't be at night.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be live.
Mm-hmm.
It should be Thursday evening taped
Perhaps.
or something?
Yeah, the last episode of The Loveboat, by the way, was 1987.
I was born in 1986.
The first episode was 1977.
Are you kidding me, man?
Captain Steubing.
To get to the point
watch the
that
show.
Stugotz is making there, though, because he does come from a time, as do I, 3 channels. Saturday night is the Loveboat
Big night.
and Fantasy Island, and then Saturday
The
Night
plane.
Live. And Saturday Night Live was a treat, but the Narnia skit is
Lazy Sunday, yeah.
it's the original. It's almost it's the original point of this stuff goes viral. You no longer have to be somebody who watches it when it happens. It's where late night television got destroyed. Is you can get it whenever you want to. You don't have to wait to get it live.
And that's an amazing development. I appreciate that. 1977, the Loveboat. Alabama's first black football player was 1971. This is how long ago it was. There was nothing but Cooper DeJeans back then. You understand what I'm saying? Times changed.
America longs for that time.
Yes. You're over here trying to make America great again.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make Saturdays
We're
great
just
again.
trying to get
That's
some
it.
I'm on
funny
a love
sketches.
boat. There should be
I'm
a
on a
mashup
boat.
there.
There you go.
Time now for Stugotz's weekend observations.
It is time for Stugotz to share his game notes. No one in the media will tell you what happened better than my boy Stu.
Weekend observations brought to you by Miller Lite. Dan, in 1980, in a little town I like to call Lake Placid, they captivated the country's heart when a team of scrappy college kids went and shocked the world and toppled the Soviet juggernauts. Sure, there's an occasional TJ Oshie moment here and there, but they really haven't had another moment that compares since. But Saturday, that all changed.
Really?
When they beat our neighbors from the north.
Do you believe in miracles?
And now, this time, it's their tournament to lose. And they're taking the ice with a chip on their shoulder. And Dan, just like that, make no mistake about it, USA Hockey is back.
Jessica rolling her eyes at this.
I thought the Yukon Huskies would be back this week. I'm not going to lie. But
Really?
that's a good one.
Do you have that as the second biggest American hockey moment? Them beating Canada in a made-up tournament?
Yeah, I do.
Yes.
You don't?
No, so
Give me some more moments.
The gold medal game.
I have Lake
against
Placid,
Canada,
a little town I like to call Lake Placid.
The '96 World Cup of Hockey.
Right, an Oshie goal here, an Oshie goal there, and
Or
this.
a couple. TJ Sochi.
The Stars didn't play in the last 2 Olympics, right? Like, this is patriotism is back. Patriotism.
Yeah,
But they have to win. Because if they lose the championship, then it's all for nothing.
terrible. Yeah,
But we're also fighting Canada.
I mean, they did beat Canada.
No.
they beat Canada
did.
at their sport. That's what I'm saying.
And they won, like, in Montreal.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You got to
Right.
do it
on
for
the road.
championship game.
Yes.
Then you guys brought PK Subban on that same week.
And we didn't talk about the Trump stuff at all.
At all. At all.
I lived in Montreal in the height of PK Subban. Whew, you talk about a superstar, bro.
Yeah.
You talk about a
at me,
superstar
Lou.
in a city.
He knows
No,
he's
I was
good
poor.
looking.
That's not.
He was an Alouette.
He was rich. I was poor.
Really?
Look at me, Louis.
That didn't
You
deserve
were
it. We've
bragging that you
cheapened
were
it.
an
I
Alouette.
lived with the
I
roommate
lived
from
there.
Craigslist.
Yeah, come on.
We've cheapened it. I need a look at me, Louise. I need more look at me's.
All right. Speaking of back, St. John's, the Johnnies, top 10. Big win over Creighton over the weekend. You watch it, Dan?
I did not.
Great team, tenacious defense, senior guard play, experienced coaching. Don't be surprised if the Red Storm find themselves in the Elite Eight. March is coming. Oh, March is coming.
We played some Pitino sound yesterday from the locker
Really?
room. Pitino's back.
He is back.
So back.
I like him now.
So back. You've been making fun of him having sex.
Not anymore.
Yeah. For 10 years you've been doing it. I don't know how Pitino got back.
St. John's, top 10, win over Creighton. Congratulations to Adam Silver. He somehow replaced one bad All-Star game with 3 bad All-Star games. What are we doing? What was wrong with East versus West? Huh?
Put it on the poll. What was wrong with East versus West? Huh?
If Dalton Connect is playing in your All-Star game, guess what? Not an All-Star game.
Put that on the poll as well. Is it an all-star? If Dalton Connect is playing in your all-star game, is it an all-star game?
If you want to see change, commissioners should be up for election every 4 years. They're skating by, Dan.
That's a good take.
I don't mind that at all.
I like
The
it.
new commish?
That is a good take.
Yeah.
But who votes?
I don't know.
The players.
Because they'll just keep voting for the guy that does what
That's
they
how
want them
it.
to
That's
do.
exactly how it works.
Yeah, exactly.
Credit to Victor Wembanyama, the rare player giving effort in an all-star game. Wemby. He'll stop giving effort in like 2 or 3 years, right? It's just the newness for him. Like he thinks he has to go out there and try. He doesn't. I'm glad he did. But he doesn't. Who is asking for this much Kevin Hart?
That was a take from the weekend, right? Did we all arrive there at the same time? At the same time now?
Put it on the poll, Kevin Hart or Mr. Beast?
Number 1, Auburn. Visiting number 2, Alabama. The Iron Bowl. That's a put the kids to bed game. 4 p.m. tip-off. But I was serious.
I think Jessica's feelings just got hurt from how little effort you put into that fake laugh for her Mr. Beast joke.
There's no way he knows.
Do you know who Mr. Beast is?
No.
That's what I thought.
But I supported you.
You did.
Marshawn Lynch,
Yeah,
Valid.
beast mode.
to me.
It's by Mr. Beast.
I called Emma in Australia, and I told her to go to bed. It was 11 a.m. No show on President's Day.
Put it on the poll. Have you ever put the kids to bed at 11 a.m. because you thought you didn't know it was in Australia?
I forgot she was in Australia. I thought she was in Syracuse. I called her. I told her to go to bed. She said, Dad, it's 11. That's what happened. No show on President's Day. The L in Lebitard stands for loves himself a long weekend. Dan Lebitard taking President's Day off despite hating the current president. Dan, the Stugotz is strong in you.
It's a federal holiday.
Oh, is it?
He's the president of the company.
You took a week off.
You took an extra Tuesday after the Monday off.
Friday and Monday, that's it. I mean,
What was yesterday?
Tuesday.
I don't know.
I mean,
That was a
he
Tuesday?
doesn't know time zones in Australia.
Monday, President's Day. Dan said we're all taking it off. Tuesday, lacrosse game.
I didn't say anything. I didn't. It's a federal holiday.
If I showed up, you wouldn't have been here. I mean,
But
I was here. You weren't.
It's a federal holiday. I didn't choose
You were
to make
literally
it a
not here
federal
the next
holiday.
day.
You weren't here, or the day before, any of the days before it.
Huh.
Interesting.
If you need someone, I was here Thursday. I mean, that
Thank
counts,
you.
Right. If you need someone to play a flamboyant man from the South, your first call is to Walter Goggins. And your second call is to Walton Goggins to offer him even more money.
What did you just do to
You know,
his
I got
name?
mixed up. Walton. It should be Walter. It's Walton. Walton Goggins is the guy you call. And if he says no, you call him again and you offer him more.
I'm starting to think that you're not writing these.
Draymond Green
Because he's watching so much White Lotus.
saying, I love White Lotus. Are you kidding me? Draymond Green saying the Warriors will win the title. Ha! That's all I got. Draymond, don't write any checks that Steph Curry can't cash. Draymond should thank Steph Curry every day for making his career. Draymond Green in Detroit is Rodney Magruder. Rodney. There he is.
That would be good for Roy to have there.
It would be, but I'm doing too much stuff right
Yeah.
now.
Hey,
Spinning
it's
plates.
buttons to push. Leave Roy alone.
I mean, the Rodney. You wanted the Rodney there, didn't you?
I said it. Would have been nice.
Heads
Heads
up
up
would
would've
be
been nice.
really nice for a producer there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he has the script. Taylor's script. It's there. It's right there.
I don't have it.
Are you manually pushing the beeps?
Yes.
Yes.
That's great timing.
William Byron won back-to-back Daytona 500s. The Great American Race. You know what the B in Byron stands for?
No.
Back-to-back. You know what the W in William Byron stands for? Who the is William Byron?
I thought Logano was back to back, Billy.
No,
It's end of the year.
that's the whole championship.
Exactly. Whole kid and caboodle.
William Byron, do it at Talladega. Dega. Buzz Peterson is advising UNC on who to hire as their basketball GM, and his first move was to tell them to interview Buzz Peterson. Buzz, the Joe Bailey, and Stugotz is strong in you.
That's a good story. Hawkins, just real quick.
Yep.
Joe Bailey, Dolphins CEO.
Okay.
Didn't hire Mike Tomlin, went with Cam Cameron instead because Mike Tomlin was too hip-hop.
Too black.
He was hired by the Dolphins to do a national and international search for the next Dolphin CEO, and he found him in the mirror, and he named himself CEO of the Dolphins. That is the joke that he's making there.
Well, he knew that candidate the best.
He interviewed well,
Yeah, he interviewed great.
killed the interview.
Wow, that's exactly what I would have said.
Stash this away in the Something to Ponder file. Biggest star in their respective sport. Jimmy Johnson, the football coach, or Jimmy Johnson, the NASCAR driver? No need to discuss now. Just stash it away for a rainy day. The only Kyle Busch you'll get after a race is a frustrated Kyle Busch. That's all he's got.
Take your word for it.
I mean, win a race once in a while. Even then, he'd be frustrated.
Which Bush is the one that hung up on us?
Kyle.
George?
I
W?
mean, that was a good guess. 50% shot. I don't recall.
Kyle.
They were both kind of surly.
It was Kyle. I think.
I don't think you're right.
It feels more like Kyle, but Kurt was also.
It was Kurt.
I think it was Kurt.
Did you just need to hear the
I
name?
think it was Kurt. Well, he didn't know who the second Bush was. Yeah.
It started with
I
a
was
K.
pretty sure it didn't sound like Kyle. I was like, I think it's that, but I wasn't sure it was Kurt either.
It was Kurt.
Roy will find it.
Hey, other sports watching the Four Nations tournament. Take notes. That's how you all-star break. Dan, you know what you say if you have Four Nations?
I do not.
They say you have a great tournament.
They do.
They don't say you don't have one nation. They just say you have a great tournament. This Four Nations thing is the greatest thing to ever happen to hockey and all-star games.
Jessica's skeptical. I don't think she thinks you believe in anything you're saying right
I
now.
haven't
How
watched the
many
second.
games have you watched? All right.
None of it.
I just, you can't get
When you start a game with a fight, you've got a good one.
It was Kyle Busch.
Told you.
Do you have the sound?
I do. It was 52 seconds.
All right, we'll do it at the end.
Okay.
Dan, this Thursday, USA, Canada, the best 3 words in sports. Winner takes all. Top 5 best 3 words in sports.
Oh, wow. This is an important list.
Number 5, touch them all. Number 4, for the win.
Stunning development here on the Kyle Busch front.
What happened?
We hung up on him.
Well, Dan did.
Dan did. We
Dan
didn't
did
do
Not done here.
the Vegas blackjack dealer thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, we're done here.
That's crazy. You go from Kurt Busch hung up on us to we hung up
To
on
Kyle,
Busch.
to we hung up on Kyle Busch. That's how we just did it.
You nailed
That's
it.
right.
Yeah.
Now I see why you don't respect Black history.
Shit talker.
You like to change it.
Number 3, first and goal. Number 2, defense wins championships.
Wouldn't it be 4th and goal?
And number 1, Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Why would it be 4th and goal?
Because it's
You love
stakes.
first and goal. No one likes 4th and goal.
No, but it's stakes. You're
No, but if
watching
you
it-
have first and goal and you get yourself to 4th and goal, there's a big problem. I mean,
There's stakes.
All right,
Stakes
put it
matter.
on the poll.
Stugotz.
Better 3 words: first and goal or 4th and goal.
first and goal makes me happy. 4th and goal makes me
I
nervous.
know, but why are you only thinking offensively?
I don't know.
4th and long is probably even better than 4th and goal, but whatever.
It's my list.
It is your list.
Facts.
To everybody that does mock drafts, we don't need your mock trades. Enough.
But when the mock draft comes out, that's all trades. That one is electrifying every spring.
Saturday Night Live.
Uh-oh.
Get over yourselves.
Here's just
The only anniversary you should have been celebrating is the 25th anniversary since the last time that show was funny. You know what the S in Saturday Night Live stands for? Sorry, we haven't been funny in 25 years.
Come on.
SNL, do it on a Saturday. Lorne Michael, do it this century.
Michaels.
I don't care.
It's got an S on
Make
it.
me laugh.
Okay, but, I mean, Lazy Sunday is it's in the
hilarious.
last 25 years.
Nobody loves a chirp like Dan Hurley loves a chirp.
It's true.
What happened to him?
He's really fun
Seriously.
and arrogant. They won twice, back-to-back, like Logano.
Lazy Sunday was 16 years ago.
Okay?
They made it.
Dan Hurley calling a fan baldy while being bald himself. Hurley, the Stugotz is strong in you. Bald on bald crime. I thought they stuck together. No? You don't call another bald guy baldy.
Sure you do, man.
No, you don't.
Absolutely. I
Really?
call Kevin Hart short.
Yeah, but it's not an insult to say, hey, baldy, if you're bald yourself.
That sounds like a bald person's take.
Jessica's got some Kevin Hart takes. Like, Jessica speaks for the internet. I don't know how it happened. Kevin Hart has been overexposed for a long time. I'm surprised that this is the moment that people are objecting to it.
It's not wrong. It's Black History Month, though. I can't.
He sells underwear with his face on it, doesn't he?
He does. He's a short king. It's
He-
hard for
he-
me to
his
just
face is
rail
on the
against
underwear?
He
that-
wants to be a billionaire. That's why he works that way. He wishes to be a billionaire.
I'm not saying people haven't mistaken me for Kevin Hart in airports more frequently than I'd like to admit. Okay? I think it's the style, too. It's very similar. I don't know, man. I agree. Maybe not at the All-Star game.
Right.
We're in agreement, Jessica. Don't you worry.
Rick Pitino says you need a PhD to play at St. John's. A passion, a hunger, and a drive. Goosies. Pitino?
I'm back in on him.
Yes.
Back in.
I mean, you got to root for
Societal
the
shift.
vampire.
It's amazing.
You have to.
Societal
You gotta-
shift.
That's fine.
We're good.
I think you want to read some of the details of his past, but also some of it is just like, the FBI got there before the
pro-choice.
NIL
I've
stuff.
read them all.
Passion, hunger, and drive. Pretty redundant, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure we're
Goosebumps, though. I mean,
Yeah.
seriously.
Is it the drive or drive? Like, which was
Just
the D?
drive. Just
Okay.
drive. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, just drive.
That pro-choice was surgical, Jessica.
I didn't say that.
I don't doubt it. It has to be almost.
Well,
most
not
countries.
anymore.
Mac McClung, the best dunker ever? Please. The hell are we talking about? Speaking of hell, Art Briles. Dan, those are the weekend observations. He's not the greatest
Okay,
dunker
does he
ever.
have
It's
the
absurd.
most?
It's
Does he have the
absurd.
most trophies though?
I don't care how
Okay.
many
He falls
trophies
in
he
the-
has.
in
Do
the
it against
forest.
John Moran.
All
Do it
right.
against
If a
Jordan.
slam dunk contest happens in the forest,
I mean, come on.
No, but I'm simply asking. I'm asking more. I'm not objecting to his take here.
Yeah.
I'm
Actually,
simply
not a wrong
asking.
no bad ideas. Write that down for Adam
That would be
Silver.
interesting,
Slam dunk
yeah.
contest in the forest.
Can we watch the Kevin Hart video now? Because as a self-proclaimed short king,
I am a
I
short
do
king,
want to know
yes.
what your reaction would be if you were in a situation where there are several extremely tall women sort of like mocking you for being much shorter than they are and trying to
play
take
it.
selfies with
Let's
you.
do it. Let's take
We will
it.
get
Who
to
are the
that
women?
Shortly. Rakia Jackson is one of them. Dejanay Carrington is one of them. It's a bunch of WNBA players.
Okay, that makes sense.
That is not fair.
That's funny, man. Come on.
They- Oh. Don't hold the phone from that angle, Kevin. Doesn't help the
Looks like a
situation.
toddler
I
grabbing a
love
phone.
this video.
They're so tall, and they have on heels too, which I'm sure makes them even that much taller.
Heels do that. Yeah.
They do, man.
But when you say toddler, I mean he looked like Brad Williams. Like he looked so much smaller than them.
I have a number of some of my best friends are former women's basketball players, and they are super tall, and we hang out, and they put on heels, and we are walking around, me at 5'8" with my heels on, and them at 6'4", and it it is a sight to see. I have pictures. Maybe we could put that on the poll.
No, we need to normalize
this.
this, by the way, because this whole thing of like women can't be taller than their husbands or men or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just wrapped up toxic masculinity, and it's a terrible mindset to have. You
Yeah.
should be able to date or be with whoever you want to be with, regardless of who's taller or
good-
shorter. However, it is very funny in this video seeing how tiny Kevin Hart
It's
looks.
funny watching Kevin Hart get bullied by women's basketball players, and then I didn't see that video, but now his post on Instagram makes more sense, where he has a picture and he's cut off all their heads purposely. I did not know he was getting bullied, and now
He is
tough
very
weekend for
he
him.
is very likable. Kevin Hart, I don't know, has mastered anything quite as much as he has mastered that he can sell
Self-deprecation,
all
yes.
things because you like him. Like it is. I don't know that a lot of
$1
people
billion
would
worth.
say to him that you're one of. I mean, I don't know. People would put him in the highest of the high classes of comedians respecting other comedians. But as a businessman, you can make the argument he's the best there's ever been at making money through comedy.
if you ask me, would I trade the injuries for the money that I've made as a professional football player, I would tell you no. And I would ask you, would you trade being 5'3" for $1 billion? I would probably tell you no if I was that too. I mean, that's a
Big
it's a
yes for
solid,
me. Yeah.
solid trade-off.
I mean,
It's life.
you're just taking 2 inches off. You're giving me $1 billion. Yeah, I'm in. I
Was
mean,
he the first to sell out football stadiums as a comedian? Like, he has absolutely mastered popularity, but I was surprised to see it turn this weekend. Like, he's been this for a long time and has masked whatever is the greed of capitalism with enormous charm.
I think
That's his gift.
The issue is he's become the easy button for everybody. And it's like, just throw a little Kevin Hart on it. And I remember Kevin Hart when he was doing indie films, and he was hilarious.
Right.
But to Jessica's point, like, he shouldn't be in on everything. Like, there are certain places where the joke does not correlate.
Wait, I don't even remember saying that. Was that my take? That's a good take.
I don't know. I thought the sentiment
is
was
now.
we had too much Kevin Hart a part of the weekend of the NBA.
I mean, she has voiced, like a lot of people this weekend, objected to Kevin Hart having to be a part of everything.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe Lucy said it? I don't.
Jessica's like, do not put that on my name.
I actually don't remember saying
I would
it, but
still
might
like to
have
be
said
in a
it.
Kevin Hart movie one day if the opportunity presents itself.
There's a lot of Kevin Hart. He's just one of those actors that, like, you always see.
Oh yeah,
He's
events.
everywhere. Yeah.
Yes.
He's everywhere.
Right.
yes,
Yeah.
Too much.
His resume says I'll do it.
I wanted to ask you, Hawk, about some a news item here that came across on a very, very slow sports week. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has let go of his agent.
Well, he's hosting SNL next week, so that's a weird time for him to be doing it.
So he's let go of his agent, and this is the best team in the sport, best point differential in the sport. This is the worthiest challenger to the Boston Celtics, and he's let go of his agent. And when he did that, I thought to myself, well, he doesn't need to give an agent a percentage of what will be a supermax contract because Oklahoma City has rigged the game so that they got the draft picks and they can lock them up and you can pay them more, and it's going to be hard to get any free agents to ever do what, Durant, Harden, and Westbrook escaped from OKC. This guy could stay there for life and be paid supermax after supermax. What does he need an agent for? Can you answer that question for me?
I can't. I cannot sit here and explain why you need an agent. If he is like, hey, I'm going to be here and we're just going to supermax this thing out until we can't supermax it out anymore. There is a point in time for athletes, in my opinion, where you don't need an agent.
And this is the time for him because the max deal is a slam dunk, right? Like he's going to get that. Why give up 15 to 20% of that money to an agent?
Well, it's not 15 or 20%, but why give up 1%?
Why give up any of it?
I wouldn't want to be a part of your agency for sure with those prices. But also, if he knows that he's going to stay there and it's going to be a supermax, yeah. And if you need to eventually be like, hey, I got to get the hell out of OKC, I'm going to need an agent to do so, then you'll sign it there. But you don't have to give up the 3, the 4, the 5%, whatever the hell it is.
And they'll line up to sign you.
But think about what the money is we're talking about, because we've arrived at a place in sports where the numbers are so astronomical that what he's giving is, what is it, tens of millions of dollars that you'd be giving an agent on a supermax?
Probably like more than $30 million if he signs like a 300.
Jeez. Yes.
I don't think it's 10%, but even if it's 5%, it's more than
even if it's 1%.
It's a guaranteed deal.
$15 million,
He needs a business manager, though. He needs people because right now I saw the other day Stephen A. Smith, they were discussing during a slow time face of basketball stuff and making the argument on behalf of Anthony Edwards, and then talking about how a foreign player can't be the face of basketball.
It's Kevin Hart.
But if this player wins the championship this year, toppling the Celtics, he will catapult, and that's the best team in the league, and they're young, and they're going to lock him up, and he doesn't need an agent. If he does not get hurt, they can be running the sport soon, and it's going to feel a bit like it came out of nowhere, not to basketball people, obviously, but his stardom has not yet arrived. He's basketball famous. He's not any other kind of famous.
Not yet. I mean, he's like he has the potential to take probably the spot that they were, it felt like Ja Morant was ascending into as kind of the face of basketball, and but Shai has continued to play really well, doesn't get into a lot of trouble, doesn't have some of the headlines that you saw from Ja in that moment, and if he wins the championship, it validates him in that way. I'm kind of with him, man. Like, I don't think he needs an agent.
Agents normally take home 4 to 10% of a player's annual salary, just so we're all clear on that. But you're right with Shai, Dan. He has not crossed over yet. This is how I gauge it. When I ask my wife, do you know who SGA is? And she says no, then he's not a massive superstar. She knows Ja Morant. Perhaps because he got into trouble, but she is aware of who Ja Morant is. She has no idea who SGA is. Zero.
I will say in terms of however these things matter on who presents well, right? Because Jaylen Brown is saying some form of, what do you mean criticizing me that I'm not interesting enough to be face of the league? This is generally what it looks like if it plays in the right market in terms of style of play, dominating a team, young person, but does not have some of the imprint that you might want for AI style. Like when we talk about Ja Morant, when we talk about
what a pro wants didn't do it for you.
When we talk about what it is gets to inherit the league, I would be curious how Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is being managed, because he's an entire economy. LeBron's passing this league over to the young people. They're going to fight for whatever remains of the stardom and the money and the sneaker power, and he's in line. If he wins a championship, what has to happen next for you guys to be able to anoint him as something better than Anthony Edwards, something better than Luka, something better than the young stars in the league?
He doesn't have it for me. I don't know what it is.
There's
probably
no
a championship and probably a really good performance in a championship if I'm watching that championship.
There's no it factor?
Yeah, and
That team is fun, and they fool around in interviews. They're purposely young. They connect with a different audience.
But that kind of guy has to win like 5 championships.
I think so.
He does. Yeah.
I think so. It's kind of SGA's vibe is a lot like turn of the century Spurs vibe to me. Like, I'll take your word
Yeah.
for it. No, he's
Yeah.
a great player, no doubt.
fair.
Okay,
I'm just not
Give
that
him the
invested.
card.
Right. All right,
If I
well,
were
then
Canadian, I'd get it.
All right.
not
but
con-
who gets
he's
to
an
decide
American.
this though? Where
Mike.
where it relates to young people?
No, I'm not. Well, thank you very much.
Put it on the poll. Does Mike get to decide the face of
I think
basketball?
Mike thinks he gets to decide.
I don't get to decide the face of basketball. To
I'm
me,
with
it's
you
very
on this,
clearly
though.
Victor because I think Victor's going to be that.
No.
I'm
It's
in a-
still LeBron.
You know where I'm at with basketball. I read KD's tweets and I'm like, I don't think he's being sarcastic or an a-hole. I think he's being serious. And I'm like, okay, I agree wholeheartedly with every single thing that KD is saying. I think he's genuinely saying, hey, man, we don't have the passion that you're looking for. Go watch hockey. I know his reputation is such. I know this is hard to believe, but I think he's coming from a pretty genuine place. And like, if you're questioning our effort, it's a different sport. Please go watch hockey. You will like that. I don't think he is saying like a jerk, like, well, it's more fun to complain about our sport than to watch it. I think he's kind of being serious. Yeah, he knows the game right now. You turn on First Take, they're talking more about like the drama around the game than the actual game itself. And the NBA has benefited from that for a long time. But now that the games aren't as compelling, there's more blowouts to the games because of the style of play. It's hard to work myself up for a game.
Why can't Anthony Edwards be the face of basketball? I know he said he doesn't want to be that.
Team's not good enough.
That's what he is. That's what his take was. My team isn't good enough for me to be the face of basketball.
No, it wasn't. No, he wasn't saying. I'm not sure he wants that. He just sort of said Wemby's got that handled. Like,
Yeah.
I think he's saying that Wemby cares more about how all of that is marketed as well. I don't think Anthony Edwards is so interested in some of these trappings.
I think he will be the face of the basketball. I get.
There's a pressure that comes with that, Hawk.
I know there's a pressure. I don't think he cares about it. And I think in today's day and age of what the face of basketball is going to feel a lot different going forward than it has in the past. And almost him saying that kind of puts him directly in line for it, because when you watched him in the playoffs last year, tell me you didn't feel something, Stu. Tell me you didn't watch Anthony Edwards talk to KD, his idol, in those moments.
Oh, I did.
And you'd be like, man, this is someone who does not care about his friendships. He doesn't care about LeBron. He doesn't care about any of these people. And that's what you want from the face of basketball, someone that cares about it, like the way Mike is saying that KD admitted that most players don't.
But the face of basketball has always been basketball's best player. It's been Magic, it's been Michael, it's been LeBron, right? Those are the faces of basketball, correct? Anthony Edwards is not there, man.
Well, but it's no one's allowed to be where we've been for 20 years. They've kind of hogged it, right? LeBron and Steph have hogged it and KD have hogged it for 20 years, all of it, and now it's time for the youth, for the young people.
I kind of feel like it's Caitlin Clark right now.
Yeah,
Not wrong.
Spicy.
Good
right?
shout.
that's right.
Good shout.
American whites, man. They're
Ugh, you're so right about that.
it's tough.
Crazy.
Cooper Flag coming up. That's
I do think
that's what they're making the way for, man.
I do think that there might be a correlation between the general lack of it. Like, look what's happening with tennis now. Tennis, it's starting to get a little bit more attention because American males are starting to be better at tennis. And you see what's happening in basketball. That's why everyone got behind Ja Morant so much. Like, okay, finally, like a marquee American star player here. MVPs throughout this decade, European, trailing back to the end of the last decade. I think that there's something there. Marketable U.S. superstar in his prime, the way that LeBron was. I think that that's the disconnect right now with the audience in part.
Probably. And you got Dan saying Jokic is better than Michael Jordan. Like, that doesn't help what we're trying to do here in America.
During Black History Month.
During Black History Month, something he's been on record saying he does not have respect for.
I know, man. 9 days left.
Billy, I saw during this segment on the face of basketball that we somehow stumbled into accidentally, I saw that you seemed distracted by was that a bowling ball? What has happened?
Not just any bowling ball.
Yeah, it's a big surprise for tomorrow.
What do you mean? Like, what do you mean? What has happened here?
We don't want to give too much away here.
Whoa.
Someone decided to mail Greg Cody a present that appears to be a bowling ball that was made just for him years ago as a promotional tool with a Dolphins logo on one side and a Miller Lite logo on the other side.
What a day.
And there are no holes drilled into said bowling ball. So Greg, when he comes tomorrow, if he's coming tomorrow, whenever he comes again, can have this bowling ball seemingly personalized for him and use this bowling ball moving forward should he want to.
Wow.
Solid.
And that's what I was looking at.
Yep.
Is it something that has holes in it?
It has
No
no
holes.
holes
No
drilled in
holes.
it. Yeah, and he can
get
have
them
it personal.
customized,
Exactly
right.
right.
Have you opened it?
I kind of want to open it.
That's the thing is I'm
Don't
conflicted. Do
open
we
it.
open it or do
It's
we
not
leave it
it's
for
not
him?
wrapped.
If
It's
it-
not gift wrapping.
It's
It's
his
wrapped.
gift to
Bubble,
open.
That's
it's
what
got
I'm
the old school
wondering.
Dolphins
Open it.
logo, which probably means
man.
it's got an old school
Yeah,
Miller
he's
Lite
gonna
logo.
be so
It does.
upset.
You got to make
Oh,
sure.
it does.
Make sure it's not something that'll put you in jail because you can't just be opening random. You know.
No, I can see the logos through it. There's a
Okay.
Miller Lite logo and a
all
Dolphins
right,
logo.
all right. You know.
We're good, Hawk.
We've
Okay,
been mean
just
to
making
basketball
sure.
this week. Can we all go around the room and say
From a
our
different
favorite
neighborhood.
basketball player? Mine is Josh Hart. Who's yours, Stugotz?
Michael
Today?
Jordan.
Yeah,
All time or today?
right now.
Right
Okay.
now. Ooh.
I was gonna say all time Josh Hart favorite basketball player is a crazy take. That
Not
I
all
wanted,
time.
That I
but
wanted
right
you
now,
to drill down
I love
into.
him so much.
All right, that's
I
not
liked
a.
him from my time at Chelsea. He was a Chelsea guy.
Stugotz, you're up.
Brunson.
I've got a legitimate question. Is it and can it be a bowling ball if it doesn't have holes?
That's legitimate.
Yeah, but he's going to get
Yeah,
it
like
fitted
a-
for his fingers.
But
A
is
car
it-
could
but-
have no wheels.
But is it a bowling ball if it doesn't have holes?
Wow, this is pretty dope.
Yeah,
What would you call it? A marble?
big marble. They sent him a big marble.
Wow.
I still have
Make bowling
PTSD from
time.
marbles.
that is beautiful.
It
A
is
Miller
beautiful.
time. Oh
my
Wow.
God, he's
wow,
gonna be
it
so
is.
happy.
It
Here's
is.
the Dolphins
It
logo on
is
the other
beautiful.
side.
But it's not a bowling ball. It's just
Where do
an-
you finger it?
It's just an orb. I will not respect Black History Month. As our ombudsman, Juju, you're always checking in with the audience and you know what they're saying during the show. I have not had access to that recently, but just the way the show felt today, I would imagine that Andrew Hawkins is becoming more and more of a fan favorite around here. People, I would just imagine that people seem to like him.
Absolutely. I'm glad to be here again. You dig it? But people also love PK Subban, bro. Like, that he bought it strong today. The audience was requesting, we need Chris Sims style top 100 most handsome brothers list from PK Subban.
Like
need
it.
to check in with him every now and then.
How many Subans are going to be on this list?
You know what? This is, let's please.
Over under 17 and a half Subans.
I want to make this a segment with PK Subban where we check in with him daily for as long as we can get daily handsome brothers.
If he leaves Keenan off the top 100, I got issues because that's where the whole
Right.
list started.
Yep.
Hell yeah, man. Speaking of Keenan, I also like to, I agree with y'all that the Saturday Night Live hasn't been what it used to be these days, you dig it? But it did inspire me to make my own top 5 segments from Saturday Night Live. you
Holy
dig?
shit! Has there ever been a Juju top 5? An inspired? Have we ever? Is this the historic first top 5 Juju list that we've had around here?
I think it is, sir.
All right, so it's skits. It's SNL skits of all time.
Yes, sir. SNL skits of all time.
All right, any OLI? Or are we going right to it?
Yeah, OLI, the NPR Sweaty Balls. That's just one. Yes, sir. I love those sisters.
Good choice.
Also, OLI, Debbie Downer. I love her. Number 5, Celebrity Jeopardy. No matter who's up there.
Turd Ferguson.
Number 4, The Roxberries with Will Ferrell and my other brother.
Oh, you're
Chris
going old
Kattan.
school. You're going old school.
Where else do you go with that show?
Yes, sir. Number 3, I like the What's Up With That with Keenan.
There you go.
Keenan Thompson.
Something newer. That's from the last 10 years there, Stu. It's still going
Yes,
on.
sir.
If Juju says so.
I also, for some reason, it always tickles my fancy. The Californians.
Yeah, that's Valerie. Valerie loves the Californians. It's uncommonly dumb.
And number 1, no questions asked, more cowbell. Will Ferrell.
It's a good list.
I'm ashamed to admit this, but every time Fred Armisen cross-dresses, I find it funny.
What's
Societal
the family,
shift.
What's the family that like they kiss each other way too much?
Was Fred Armisen in cross-dressing in that one?
I
Yeah.
believe he is. In
Well,
that
then it
one.
was funny.
Salute to Portlandia as well.
Oh, I love Portlandia.
Yeah, he was cross-dressing in
its
that
time.
one. Funny.
Did you guys like Immigrant Dads that they did the other day with Chappelle? Anyone saw that? Nope. Okay, moving on.
I
I saw it.
I didn't watch the Chappelle thing. And honestly, Chappelle, you might be to blame for all of this.
For all of it.
I got an eye on you.
For all of it.
Everything?
I got an eye on
everything,
you.
huh?
For all of
Given
it.
what the election kind of centered around, I got an eye on you, pal.
Okay.
Oh, pal, another pal,
Like
our second pal of the week.
I bet you he's going to have his regrets about that.
Mike,
Like, maybe I should have done 2 specials on it. The
Mike-
third special is probably too much, and I made this a whole national discourse when it became an outsized thing. I was warning y'all.
Also, Mike, I done a lot of research. I crunched a lot of numbers from yesterday. Asswipe is an automatopoeia, just for your records.
Wow.
I can't believe that Greg Cody didn't
Swipe.
remember and doesn't remember that when he sits in a chair with a groan, he says, swipe.
He doesn't say it. It's just a sound.
No,
that
he
comes
does
out.
say it. He clearly pronounces, swipe. That's
My
how
ass
he
doesn't
sits
make
in a
that
chair.
noise. I don't think it's an onomatopoeia.
Also, Jessica, we was naming our favorite basketball players. Mine right now is Ant-Man and Dalton Connect. You dig it?
I do dig
Neither
it.
here nor there.
It's an odd favorite
It
player
is
for
both
you.
here and there. It's here and at the All-Star game where you
Connect.
connected with Dalton Connect. Somehow Juju had I don't understand this. I look forward to seeing it, but Juju is praying and told Dalton Connect that he is praying for him. It was just
Yes.
I don't and so
It's important.
It is nice of you to extend him that compassion and prayer, Juju.
I will not extend you this compassion, though. Joker of the day, Dan Lebatard, for
no.
not respecting Black
Oh
History Month.
no,
Deserves it.
unfair,
Yep.
unfair.
I
I will
will
not
not
Was I aggregated?
History.
That's not what I said. That's not what I did. That's unfair. I've been
It's
framed.
not unfair.
I've been framed. What do you mean it's not unfair? I've been framed.
We heard it. They were your words. The audience was tuned in. You can't do anything about that.
I got the proof right here.
I will not respect Black History
You
Month.
That's you, right?
You also said
not
it
fair.
twice so we can
That's
get the
not
second one
No,
cleaner.
that's AI. I've been.
Since we already did our favorite MNBA players, Juju, why don't you go first? Your favorite WNBA player, and then it's Dan's turn.
Ooh, I have a trouble picking between Tiffany Hayes and Ryan Howard. Those are my 2 gals.
Same, yeah.
Brittany Griner's my favorite.
What team is she on now?
Atlanta. That's
Okay.
not fair, Jessica.
You're right.
Like, don't
You're right.
do
You're
that.
right.
That's
I'm
not
sorry.
cool. Go ahead, Juju.
Nah, that was good. I'm waiting for Royce. Royce, who's your favorite
Juju
WNBA
Watkins.
player? Oh wow, she's in college.
He's
$2.
seeing
She
in the
will
future.
be. She's the future. Prospect.
I'll allow it. Stu?
My favorite WNBA player,
Stall
Yes,
tactic.
sir.
Caitlin Clark.
Ooh, nice one. Nice. I like it.
Yep. Oof. I was sweating.
First poll. Why aren't they
Legit
called
sweat.
crackaholics? Yes. 73% of the audience says yes.
I think it's crackaholic if it's the butt crack.
Maybe.
Important distinction.
I'm in recovery.
Bigger weekend in Daytona. Spring break, bike week, or the Daytona 500?
Oh, come on.
39% of the audience said spring break.
Wow, you guys all said it would be the Daytona 500. Everybody laughed. Everybody had jokes. And then what happened?
Right. My girlfriend is from Daytona, and she said it was bike week, but
I
that
thought it
only
was
got
bike week.
24%
I
of the
thought
audience.
bike week was bigger than the Daytona 500, but everyone laughed me at the room with all of their Daytona knowledge.
Can you be a confident dancer if you're also flat-footed? If you're so flat-footed that it seems like your feet are made of cement? 69% of the audience says no, you cannot be a confident dancer. Salute to Kugler though. I
Right?
didn't know my
He
brother
tried.
had those
Yeah.
moves. Like
Right?
he had me had me over here jigging. You dig it?
Yep.
I love it. Are feet doctors weird? 82% of the audience says yes, they are weird. Dang it.
It's a great question. It is a great question because I don't know who's disagreeing with that. I am leery of the foot doctor, and that's not fair. I don't know what I'm doing there. It's the career choice, isn't it?
Feet doctors are weird until you need a foot doctor. Yeah. That's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
Then they're not weird anymore.
And they're not weird anymore.
Right.
Now they're a necessity.
Very skilled.
I had a
yes.
professor who was a foot doctor, and she used to come to school and show us pictures of feet that she had to treat. And oh my God, one of the pictures was so gross. I didn't eat for like 3 days.
Yeah.
Dang.
My father has the worst feet I have ever seen. They're worse than Greg Cody's. That toenail that Greg has had cut twice by Stugotz. My father's feet are the most disgusting thing I've ever seen.
The great toe.
I'm realizing
Which
now that may have
hurts
been a
more?
HIPAA violation.
Big poll. This is a big poll. Which hurts more, an NFL career or a woman's period?
This is a big one.
Oh, I wonder what our audience is going to say.
Right.
I bet they side with you.
60%.
I think a period is the better answer.
60% of the audience says an NFL career.
Oh, man, come
sorry,
on.
Jess.
What are we doing here? What are we doing here?
I'm sorry, Jessica. If Dalton Connect is playing in your All-Star game, is it an All-Star game?
No.
Prayers up.
92% of the audience says no, it is not.
Thank you.
Sheesh. And the better 3 words, guys, strap it on, strap it in. First time this has ever happened in the history of the show.
What? No.
50% of the audience says first and goal,
That's never
and
happened
50%
before.
of the audience says fourth and goal.
I don't
That's
believe
not
you.
what
I don't believe you.
That is not what happened, Juju. You are lying right now, Juju. That's never
Not-
happened before. That can't
This is
even
it.
happen. That's not something that can happen, Juju. Juju.
It happened.
Juju, you're lying to us. Juju, there's got to be no. Mike, don't pretend like you believe that. That's not something that's possible. That's never happened before. Juju, take it back.
I do not take it back.
Juju,
If
take
I'm
it
lying,
back.
I'm flying.
Update the poll. I
Take
guarantee
it,
you it's not
update
50.
it right now.
I guarantee
Update
you.
it right now. It's
Yes.
a typo.
Update
It's
the
a
poll.
mistake.
Let's update the
Update
poll.
the
It's
poll.
misinformation. It's Elon Musk.
Oh, no, it's still there.
No.
Oh, what?
You updated it?
What?
You
What?
updated it.
Oh, my God.
I updated it.
I will
Also,
not
before I go-
respect Black History Month.
Before I go, this is my only platform. Jessica, I got your back. Justin Tucker has been accused of 7 more people have accused him of that heinous crime. So if he has done this crime, we need to chastise him and hold him accountable for this because it's not acceptable. That type of behavior, we don't allow that here.
I think we will have a guest on to talk about it tomorrow, Juju. So good shout.
Yes, sir.
From fireside conversations to football Sundays, winter means more moments with the coolest people in your life. Make these moments even better with Miller Lite, the great tasting light beer for people who love beer. A new year is a perfect time for friends, family, and a great tasting light beer. Tastes like Miller time. You know, 2024 had its ups, had its downs, had a lot of moments in it. For me, many of those moments, I had a Miller Lite right there by my side. I supplemented my time by making it a Miller time. Why? Well, I'll tell you why. Miller Lite has taste you know you can depend on. No games, no gimmicks, just a great beer for people who love beer. Miller Lite is brewed for taste. It hits different than other light beers, and it has simple ingredients like malted barley for rich, balanced toffee note flavors and that iconic golden color. The original light beer since 1975 and still the very best one. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.